Hello, love. I just wondered... Well, I wondered... You okay, dear? Oh, only I heard this noise. Things being broken, being smashed.
I'm all right.
Mrs. Roberts from next door.
Seeing you around.
How's your baby girl?
Boy.
Cries a lot.
He does.
Yes, well, I thought perhaps some vandals had broken in.
It was an accident.
I nearly phoned the police. Well, then he had the baby, and I thought, well,
I
she
said
must
an
be...
accident.
Invite me in for a coffee, love.
I'm busy, you see. Really.
What's up with you?
There's nothing.
You look bad, love.
Honestly, would you mind?
You look ill.
Thanks.
Perhaps I could help.
I don't need help.
Well, if you've got some trouble, love, some problem... baby's crying. The baby's calling you. Like you need to change or his bottle or
Look.
something.
Would you just mind your own bloody business?
Shut up! Shut up! Shut up! Shut up! Right. All right!
Hey, Long John Silver.
Now, just how do you think I'm going to get about my business on a piece of old tin?
Hi, Jim lad.
Morning.
Good morning, man.
Entered comedy hour, have we?
A bit of a laugh, that's all, man.
Well, I'm the last person to discourage you from seeing the lighter side of life, Jersey. A smile on your face is a rarer event than an earthquake in Preston. One to be cherished. What's going on?
Oh, just a bit of a joke, ma'am.
Really? Well, Roland, is it clean?
Cleaning up, ma'am.
Well? Do I have to wait for the LP?
We've had a phone call from a Mrs. Edith Bridewell, Garner Terrace. She has a complaint against her son, Terry. Apparently, the lad has stolen her leg.
What?
Mrs. Bridewell's a one-legged lady, you see, ma'am.
What woman?
And she has this wooden leg which he took from a bedroom before Mrs. Bridewell got up this morning.
I see. Any idea as to motive, Jersey?
Well, he attends Ridgefield Comprehensive, and they're currently rehearsing Treasure Island as a musical for their end-of-term show. And he's playing Long John Silver. Do you see?
Yes, Jersey, I do see.
Mrs. Bridewell's very upset, ma'am.
No doubt. Can't get about very well, can she, without her leg?
Well, she has this auxiliary one apparently made out of tin. But it's not satisfactory, she says, tending to bend and causing her to wobble. Hobble.
And has she laid a formal complaint of theft against her son?
Not exactly, ma'am.
Well, she hasn't she?
She simply wants her leg back.
And what have you done about it, Joseph? Anything, apart from splitting your sides?
Griffiths has gone round to the school to try and recover the item.
Unless a complaint has been laid, this is not police business.
Simply a gesture, ma'am. Welfare and good public relations.
What are they going to produce at school next term? Pinocchio?
Oh, wouldn't he, Pinocchio?
Oh, Ian, thanks. Enjoying it all, Ian?
I think so, ma'am.
I bet you're not. No, not as yet. Don't know what's hit you, do you? Definite shock to the nervous system. Don't worry about it. It's perfectly normal. Things will soon slot into place. You'll be seasoned to Bobby before you know it. Inspector Darby. Mm-hmm.
How old is your son, Mrs. Sheriff? 42. Well, if he's been gone all the 5 hours, I shouldn't panic as yet. Should he have been at work this morning? You got the job. Roland! You last saw him at what time?
Hello, love. What can I do you for?
Has he got a car? He's still parked outside.
Can I help you, love? What's up, love?
Has he got a girlfriend?
My baby.
Yeah?
My baby boy.
Hmm?
It's dead.
We simply don't have the resources to mount a major search operation.
I've killed it. It's dead. I've killed it! I've killed it!
Get after her, stop her. You stay put.
Come on now, take it easy. Come on.
Great paws off me!
Come on now, love.
Oh! Ow! You've no right!
This way, love.
No bloody right! Oh! Ah! Let me go! I want to go home!
Just yet, love.
Yes!
home!
Joseph?
Station desk, Sergeant Beck. Yes, madam, we got cut off. We'll phone you back, Mrs. Sherrick, with a somewhat difficult problem on our hands as of now. Madam, don't worry. I said we'll call you back.
Joseph, please.
She just calmed. She suddenly went dead quiet, just like that.
Look, I realise I'm only the inspector around here, but is someone going to tell me what's happening? Did she carry a handbag?
None about a person nor in the pram.
Get on to the police
Never seen a
station,
pram
establish
before.
his whereabouts for the next couple of hours. Ask him to stand by, might be needed.
What about CID?
I'm not going to involve them until I know for certain what we've got. Sorry to keep you waiting, though.
Who are you?
Now, how can we help you?
Come again?
What can we do for you, love?
Nothing. Not a thing.
And why are you here?
They, him and his mates, dragged me in here.
But, have I got this right? You came to us, didn't you, love? Walked into the station, talked to the lad at the desk.
Changed my mind. I don't want you.
What do you want?
To get home!
All right, then. Where do you live? Look, I'm here to help you.
Don't need your help.
What's your name, love?
What's yours?
Jean. Jean Darbley. I'm the inspector in charge of this section.
Bully for you.
Perhaps. Well, I shall have to call you something. Judith. How about that?
Please yourself.
Where's your baby, Judith?
Dead. Dead, 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 dead!
How did it die? Was it sick? Was it an accident? How, Judith?
I've done it.
Done it?
Killed it.
That's been said to me before, you know, Judith. I've gone and killed my baby. I've sat here in rooms like this and heard those words, those same words, many a time.
Well, save it. Save it for your memoirs.
How old is your baby?
6 months, 2 weeks, and 3 days. Was.
How long have you been married?
Who said I am?
Your ring. Oh. Your husband work in Hartley, does he?
Right, I'll not have it, I'll not have that. You'll not bring him here.
It's all right, it's all right. You don't have to see him, not if you don't want to. But he ought to know, don't you think? Be told what's happened.
He'll know when's good and right.
Your accent, you're not a local lass, are you?
So?
Lived long in Hartley?
Long enough. Sits like concrete on my neck, this town.
Baby born here?
Born and died here. Amen.
Boy or girl?
Boy.
And you wanted a girl?
I didn't care either way.
What did you call him?
His father chose the name.
What?
Donald Duck.
Hello. Here's something. Shopping list scribbled down on an ordinary piece of paper.
Keep looking.
You'll have visited your doctor lately, yes?
Will I?
Taking the baby along regular, it's normal practice.
Is it?
Under the doctor yourself, love, are you?
Oh, dear. Reckon I'm a bill pusher, do you?
Has your doctor prescribed you drugs?
Tranquilizers, antidepressants, sleeping pills. Answer to everything, are they? Swallow one and watch the sun come out?
Booze do that for you instead?
What?
You've been drinking. I can smell it on your breath, your clothes. Scotch, right? It's an odour that lingers.
Dutch courage. For what I had to do.
How much did it take?
Half a cup.
You find it helps, do you, the occasional snifter?
I don't drink. Don't try making out that one. I loathe the taste.
But this morning?
This morning was different.
I'd like your doctor here to examine you.
Sedate me lightly.
No, I won't take that chance. I want you awake, your mind alive. You've been drinking already and you could have drugged yourself.
I don't use them, I told you, not so much as an aspirin.
Who's your doctor?
I'll not help you.
It's your choice. Either your doctor or the police surgeon. I'd rather it was your doctor. Someone who knows you, knows your history. But either way, I shall have you examined.
You'll try.
Okay, Judith, love, stand up.
Don't call me that!
Up. Good. Now, empty your pockets out onto the table.
You what?
Ian? Now, love, I'm going to go through your pockets. If you resist, the constable here will restrain you, but either way, it'll get done.
Don't you! Don't you! Don't you! Ouch! Look, you're hurting me! Get off me, you beast!
Ah, all right. Now sit yourself down. Pig. Save it, love. I've been assaulted by professionals.
Lightly.
Fancy a cup of tea?
Stop it.
I'll bring you one anyway. Non-cooperative, giving away as little as possible.
Divisional HQ are sending round the policewoman and the police surgeons on standby.
Good.
Did she do it?
Your sister?
You believe her?
She could have. Violent enough for it. Furious. Boiling up inside her, ready to explode. These were in her pocket, plus these bus tickets. Issued with last week's date. Both come from stage 14.
Stage 14, Hillcrest, on the Churchill estate. So she comes from the smart corner of town?
If it means she was coming from home.
Why else would she catch a bus from a stop on the Churchill estate? These are return tickets.
Something doesn't add up about this lass. She's got a certain confidence. She's got fight. She'll talk back. Held for questioning in the cop shop, that doesn't really bother her. Doesn't intimidate her like some folk. If we're right and she comes from a middle-class district, then what's she about? Why?
Bored, maybe? Playing a game?
Oh, no. No, it's not a game. I don't think so. That woman's in a desperate way, all right. Not depressed. She's angry. Joseph, get busy. Check out all the doctor's surgeries in the Churchill Estate district. We've got to move fast. We assume her baby's still alive until we have evidence to the contrary.
Well, we've got our work cut out if we mean to find the kid by nightfall.
Roland.
Think I'm rotten to the core, don't you? The lowest. Rock bottom. Don't you?
No opinion, madam.
Poison, aren't I? Worst thing anyone can do. Any mother can do. Kill their offspring.
Sit down, please.
Call me names. Abuse me.
Please.
I'm not sorry, you know. Not sorry I did it. Hit me, why don't you?
Just sit down. Back off!
You hate me.
I said sit there. Get back here!
No.
I'm going home!
This way.
I am going home!
This way. Oh,
You can't keep... Get up! Let me
you're
out.
going nowhere at the moment.
Phil,
That's right, love. Get it all out of your system.
don't you be so bloody condescending.
Tar. I've been spat on before, you know, love.
Everything in the whole wide world's happened to you, hasn't it, love? me then? What with? Assaulting a police officer? I hit you back. How about killing my baby boy? Charge me with that then.
How do I know you're telling me the truth?
It's the truth.
Where's the evidence? Tell me where the body is.
It's done. Baby's dead.
When, Judith, love? When did you kill the baby?
This morning.
How?
Suffocated it.
What with?
Pillow. Pressed it down on its face.
Why did you kill your baby?
You got one?
A baby, no.
Ever had one?
No.
Lucky you.
Depends on your point of view.
Married, say,
No.
late 20s, early
No,
30s.
we
Possibly Hartley resident. Baby boy 6 months.
Probably moved into the Hartley area within the past few years. Yeah.
You don't know? How can you know the first thing about babies?
Well,
Not a thing.
that's why I'm asking, love, to find out.
Bundle of fun. Got your smile, got his daddy's eyes. Huh. Aye. Baby just cries. Never lets up. On and on and on and on. Nights never sleep. Feed it, change it, clean it, cries. Little monster. Watches me. Well, can't talk, can it? Bright little eyes demanding, I want, I want, I want. Well, so do I want. Why should I? All day, every night, yelling, screaming.
You couldn't cope.
Of course I could bloody cope! But why should I? Why should I cope? I'm not a machine. I am not a boring housing estate housewife.
Didn't you want the baby?
Aye. When I was pregnant. No way of knowing what follows, is there? All the lovey-dovey mums on the estate with their little ones, morons, make me puke. I can't do with it.
Churchill estate, is that?
Did I say so?
Call it an educated guess.
Then guess again.
Get out there, double quick. Take Griffith. Check the house. A thorough search. If the baby's not in the house, take a look over the back garden.
Right, Sarge.
Why aren't you in the interview room?
Oh, I had to leave.
Upset you, did it?
How could she do it?
Consider yourself special, do you, Shelton? Think you're the only Bobby with finer feelings?
Of course not.
Well, you surprise me. Anybody would think this had been laid on for the benefit of your sensitivities. Look, this kind of business gets up everybody's nose. Learn to deal with it, understand me?
Aye, Sarge.
Right. Get the woman a cup of tea and use a plastic cup. Ma'am? We've traced her. Her doctor's on the way.
What about the husband?
No luck as yet. Not registered with the same doctor.
Who is she?
Mrs. Kim Buckley, 17 Hillcrest Road, Churchill Estate.
Drink your tea, love.
I haven't come here for tea.
Why did you come here?
I thought you should know. Wanted you to know.
What, love?
About my crime.
Well, then you ran away.
Scared.
I don't think you were scared. You don't seem like someone who gets scared.
I was afraid. But maybe you wouldn't listen. Maybe you wouldn't understand.
Understand?
Why?
But why won't you tell us where you took your baby?
You wouldn't hear me out, would you, if I said?
I've listened. So tell me now. Where did you put your baby, Kim? So, yes, you're Kim Buckley, Hillcrest Road, Churchill Estate. And your baby's called Christopher.
Now, you took Christopher out in his pram this morning. Where did you take him, love? Yes, go on.
Yes!
Dr. Holdaway, ma'am.
Hello, Mrs. Buckley.
Hello, Doctor.
I should like to see Mrs. Buckley alone, if that's possible, Inspector.
Naturally. We'll be outside if you need us. Constable.
Well, now, Mrs. Buckley. What's all this?
Did you notice, Joseph? As soon as the doctor came in, she went limp. Dumb. She looked scared. Almost as if facing someone she knew, as if it shamed her. When the doctor's finished, I want you to go in there, Joseph, and have a try at her, right?
Ma'am?
A new face, change of approach. She might be more prepared to talk to a man, more willing to unburden herself. God, it's teeming down. That poor child out somewhere in this.
You think the baby's still alive?
But time's running out on us, Joseph.
Who are you, love?
Neighbour lad. Name of Roberts, number 15. I knew it was something like this. I heard all this crashing, banging about.
Friendly with these people, then, are you?
She keeps herself to herself, does the lass. Mr. Buckley will always pass the time of day.
Nothing.
Happen to know where he works, do you?
No, he's a school teacher.
What, in Hartley?
Ridgefield School. He's head at maths department.
7189 to Hartley.
Why did you smash up your home?
Angry. Furious. Felt this
Yeah, go on, tell me.
in me, welling up inside. Oh, anger. Aye, rage. Wanted to break, smash. Wanted to destroy.
And you did. I mean your baby.
And I did.
What did you do with the body, Kim?
Took it away.
From your house? In the pram? You took the baby away from your house in the pram?
That's what I did.
Look, I want to see her now.
I'm sorry.
Now.
I can't permit that.
What?
Given your present attitude and state of mind, you will only make matters worse.
Damn it, I'm her husband. I have every right. You can't stop me.
Please sit down, Mr. Buckley. Try and contain yourself.
Look, I want my child back.
We all want that.
Well, then what the hell are you doing about it?
Wasting valuable time at present.
I can't believe she's... I just can't believe she's gone and... killed him. She wouldn't. She just couldn't do a thing.
Mr. Buckley, can you think of anywhere Kim might leave the child? With friends, for instance, relatives?
Oh, with no relatives in Hartley. A few friends, but mine more than hers. Colleagues from school in the main.
How does she spend her day when you're at work?
Huh? Oh, well, usual things, I suppose. I don't really know what she does with her day.
Well, does she have a special place she might like to go? A favourite walk? Some spot she might like to visit?
Sorry. Just don't know.
Do you know of any reason why this should have happened?
Oh, we had a terrible row last night. I accused her of leaving the house like a slum. Kim has a pretty violent temper when she's roused, and we weren't on speaking terms when I left this morning. But surely that's...
Have you been unhappy together?
Well, no, not at all. I haven't rowed like that for ages. It just blew up suddenly. I mean, what more could she ask for, really? We've a nice house in a pleasant area. We're not short of a penny, you know.
She seems to feel that Christopher is more your son than hers.
Why? Well, why should she think that?
Well, as I interpret it, she feels imprisoned, having to spend all day at home looking after him.
Yeah, but that's her responsibility, isn't it? Well, other mothers do it. I don't understand.
You put the body somewhere, left it there, then walked here to the station pushing an empty pram.
Aye.
Where did you put it? Where did you put the baby, Kim? Did you bury it? Bury it in your garden, for instance?
I told you! Took it away from the house.
All right. So you put it somewhere else? Somewhere in town? Or in the open? Did you leave it outside or indoors somewhere?
Somewhere hidden.
But why hide the body, Kim? Was there a reason?
I don't know. I don't know why.
When you left your house wheeling the pram, where did you walk?
Through the town. Past the biscuit factory in Perry Row. Getting a whiff of the baking.
And then?
Down by the slaughterhouses. Into Market Square. Went past Jeremy's school. Ridgefield. There was...
What?
There was a girl singing. It was a sweet sound.
What was the girl singing, Kim?
An old song.
Where did you go then?
Pushed the pram up to the hilltop by the cemetery. It was a bit puffed by then, so I just stood there gazing at the rows of headstones. You can see the whole of Hartley from Hilltop Viewpoint.
Aye, it's a grand view from there.
There it was, spread out before me. Hartley. What a dump. Grotty old town. I could see people. Tiny they were from where I stood. Going about their business. 9 to 5, normal routine, nothing special to the day. But me, I was in bad bother. Why me, I thought? Why is this happening to me and not them down there?
And then you left Hilltop Viewpoint. Where did you walk then?
Why didn't you find someone to talk to, Kim, if you were that troubled? Someone qualified to help?
Nowhere could explain. Say it right.
You could explain. You've done so to us.
Housewife from a middle-class housing estate? What's your trouble then, love? Hard times, you? Books on the shelf, booze in the cocktail cabinet, money in the bank. Snap out of it. There are people hereabouts with real problems. So stop contemplating your navel. Go and have a game of backgammon.
So you wound up here and found your captive audience. I've killed my baby, you said, knowing that we'd have to listen.
I wanted you. Somebody to hear.
I've heard. It's all about you, love, isn't it?
All right! All about me!
I don't believe you've touched your baby.
You can't be sure, though, can you?
You wanted to shock. So you claim to have done something so outrageous that we'd have to take note.
Is that right?
Where is he, love?
I won't say!
Stop playing games!
Tell us where your baby is. I am pleading with you. I am saying please.
And if I tell you, what happens then?
So you were saying the kid's still alive?
You stop listening.
It's raining out there, Kim. Coming down hard.
You close the file.
We're policemen, not psychiatrists.
It's pouring with rain, Kim. The storm's sweeping down off the moors.
The moors. Oh.
Now look, your child will die if we don't reach him soon. Die of exposure if he's left out there in the cold and rain.
Raining.
Did you leave him on the moors, love? Is that where you've left him?
Where is he, love?
Come on! He'll get soaked out there, he'll catch pneumonia and he'll die!
Oh, no!
Where is he?
I took him up to the moors. Along Shepherd's Way. There's an old derelict cottage. I left baby there.
There you are then, Christopher. My little sunshine.
You've really got away with him, haven't you, Sarge?
Experience, lad, and the hand of confidence. Is that you again, Bentley?
No, not this time, Sarge.
Christopher's none the worse for wear, apparently.
Thank God.
The hospital will want to keep him inside for a day or two. Social services will be in touch. Take your wife home, Mr. Buckley.
We've put you to a lot of bother.
Yes.
Whatever happened to her?
She got in a rage because nobody would listen properly. So she found a way to make herself heard. You've got a bit of work to do.
Letting her go?
We'll submit our report to headquarters as usual. They'll get the medical reports on Kim, help them decide whether she should be prosecuted.
Always the chance it can happen again. For real next time.
I don't think so, son.
Then there's the wasting of police time.
She pays her rates.
So do I. Mostly.
Next on Drama, we catch up with London's finest police. The good folk of Sun Hill are on the beat. In the bill.
Annie.
Huh? Oh, okay.
Surely not got a shake on, have you, Annie? Not you.
Somebody just walked over my grave. What place?
Never know these days, do we? Till they get nicked. Who we've got on our ground.
You're going to ask me have we done our hotels?
Am I?
Express message from Cumbria. Murder. Inquiries requested for him, hotels and lodging houses. You're going to ask have we done ours?
Have you?
Oh, yes.
Anything?
Fine defaulted, taking it on his toes from Liverpool, that's all. Sergeant Beck had him out of bed. 3 o'clock this morning at Little Fisher's.
I think I'd rather be banged up in a cell in Walton than kept at Little Fisher's.
That's what he said.
Jean.
Sir.
Why I'm here is job for you.
I'd suppose so, sir, yes.
The crime squad.
Crime squad?
Has to be kept close, just you and I to know. That's the way they work. You know how they work, crime squad. Never know, do we? These days, who we've got on our ground.
Morning.
Good morning, sir.
You have a reservation for me. Scott.
Yes, sir. Mr. Scott.
It's Commander Scott, actually. You see?
Commander Scott, sir. I'm sorry.
I'm to meet a lady. When she comes, I'll be in the bar.
There's dead ground. Below the house. It's all the way down. There's too much dead ground.
Not from where you'll be. Where you'll be, you'll see anyone who comes.
If I see him, he sees me.
Sure. Why not?
Up here? I'm naked.
Very nice, too.
I have got no cover.
Best cover there is. You being a woman. What did we say you'd be? Woman on your own.
Washed up, you said. Some love affair gone sour.
Such an affair as that, Annie. Sure, I wouldn't know.
The hell you wouldn't. Harry. Worth it. Is he? I mean, what we're doing here?
Get close enough and you'll know, for sure.
1 o'clock, then. You're to meet this chief inspector from the squad. After that...
What?
Oh, whatever he says. Only let me know if what he says worries you.
You think it might?
Well, you've worked with them. They'll have off their target villain, whoever he is, and be gone. You and I...
Have to live here.
Yeah, quite so. How's your husband?
Oh, well enough, sir, thank you.
That's all. That'll be easy for him. Now and then you're doing what you do, and him...
He's come to terms with what he does, sir.
Social work, not his line of country, I'd have thought.
You don't approve of what he does?
What he does? For the folk in the Department of Social Services who are running him, one day will bring him head on with your duty to the law, you know? And there'll be trouble.
Sir, the one I'm to meet, Detective Inspector...
Connor. His name's Connor.
You didn't say.
Oh, you know him, do you? A cheerful sort of cove, I reckon. It's a good man to have on a run ashore. Flack happy, though. You watch him, do you hear?
Yes. Oh, yes.
Good morning. I'm
to meet Commander Scott. Has he arrived, you know?
Yes, he has. It's Juliet waiting in there.
Thank you.
Mrs. Newby.
Commander Scott?
I'd have known you for sure. Anywhere.
Really? Thank you. Well now, Commander, as we've never met, how would you have done that? Known me for sure, anywhere. Hmm?
Telephone? You didn't tell me there was no bloody telephone.
Otherwise, it's good.
So how do I get word?
I'll not be far away.
We may not come.
He'll come.
And how do you know?
The voices told me.
Your change, sir.
That's fine.
Thank you.
Thank you.
My sympathy in your loss. A sad loss.
How was it that you knew?
Saw the obituary in the Telegraph.
It's kind of you to have telephoned.
Just wanted you to know how sorry I am. Chance to be hereabouts.
Did you now?
I have business interests, you see, in Liverpool.
Really?
Import, export, that sort of thing.
Oh, you're not still in the Navy, then?
Good Lord, no. Came ashore years ago, like your late husband. Rest in peace.
When was it that you knew Jack?
I was on the Ark.
The Ark?
The Ark Royal.
And so was he. Yes.
So when I saw in the Telegraph that Jack Newby, who'd served on Ark Royal...
And gone on to make his fortune in the motor trade?
Had slipped his cable. I just want you to know, if there's anything I can ever do, just say the word. Yes?
I'm sorry, but he never spoke of you.
It's an awfully big ship.
Well, not that I remember. But then you were an officer. Him just lower deck.
Even so, band of brothers, Ma'am, band of brothers.
Tell you what, Commander.
Ma'am.
Colette. You must call me Colette.
Colette.
Tell you what. He always said he'd hated the bloody Navy.
What is it?
I don't know. No. It's this place, maybe. What?
What?
11 o'clock from the top of the gully. Coming down off the skyline. You see him?
No. Yes.
Somebody we should know?
Wouldn't say so. Whoever he is, not one for us. Bit bloody rough he looks. He's come up the other side. In front of the dead tree, see?
He's eating. What the... It's a turnip. How the hell would he turn it raw?
Some poor bloody peasant, starving. Not one of Georgie Henschel's team for sure. Come on. We'll be late for the meet.
What about him?
What about him? If he ain't one of Georgie's team, not your business.
And for me, avocado and the estouffade de boeuf. And a bottle of Sancerre.
Thank you, sir.
You were saying, Commander.
Nigel.
Nigel. You were saying about what you do. Export and import?
Yes, well, don't want to talk shop, do we?
Are you good at it? What you do?
Yes. Oh, yes.
What exactly do you export and import?
Just now, I'm setting up an awfully good thing in Romania.
I'm going out. I'll be back about 3.
Where will you be?
I'll be back about 3. Superintendent Lake was asking about the one who butchered that girl in a cafe on the A6 Express Message.
Psycho, must be.
Mr. Lake was asking if we'd done all our lodging houses, hotels.
Yep.
Have we?
I don't see this one shacked up at the Hilton, do you? Which, anyway, we haven't got.
Yeah, but even so.
I'll take this out this afternoon, show it around a bit. Garages on the main road, that sort of place.
Ah, take Bentley too, if we can spare him.
We can always bloody well spare him.
God, I thought you were a burglar. What are you doing here?
Nothing.
You should be at work.
Well, so should you.
He said you were busy today.
I am.
Looks like it. You're up to something. In fact, I think you look guilty.
Rubbish. Look, I forgot something this morning. I just popped home for it.
What?
Don't be nosy, darling.
Now I know there's something fishy going on.
There's nothing fishy. Do you want something to eat?
No, I'm in a hurry. I've got to change.
Oh, are you going somewhere?
Someone to meet.
Who to meet?
A detective inspector from Crime Squad. They've got an operation on.
Who is this chap? Do I know him?
No.
Who's being mysterious now? Hey, I want to have a snack. Can I tempt you? Omelets. Look, do your quick omelette. Be ready in a couple of minutes.
What's that?
I make the best omelettes in the Northern Union. Famous for my omelettes. Won gold medals for them. I've got highly commended for my spaghetti bolognese. And I've got leather medals for my shepherd's pie. But my omelettes, cool. Something else. They're world famous. Hey, so, for this assignation with this detective inspector, why don't you sample one of my culinary delights then, eh?
I'm lunching out today.
Oh, with this chap?
Don't be so nosy, darling.
Mm.
What I do is I buy from a man I know in Bilbao, barbed wire.
Barbed wire?
And I ship it across to the Black Sea. Now, there's a man I know who works on the docks who helps me.
He helps you?
For a small share in what profit I make when his uncle sells the barbed wire in Bucharest.
You mean you've got this bleeder on the bone?
Commission, he'd call it, for easing my barbed wire and such through the official channels.
Bent, is he?
Put like that, Mum, in so many words, as a fishhook.
He's bent, you pay.
Ah, and there, dear lady, just for now, is the rub.
Mm-hmm.
They all have you barbed wire.
That gentleman with the lady. Seemed to have seen him around. At the golf club, maybe. Or was it Rotary? You see, I've got the devil of a memory for faces. You wouldn't been on, would you? Who?
Oh, yes. Should I have the waiter tell him you're here?
No. Don't think he'd thank me for shoving me snout in between him and the lady, eh?
Scott.
Is that so?
Commander Scott. He's staying here.
Is he now? Commander Scott, do you say? And sure he's never the fella I took him for. Thanks.
Still the same old Harry.
You say it, just you say it and I'll thump you.
I'll say it anyway. Been a long time.
Long time? You.
I heard you got married.
Yes? You?
Not I.
Not my Harry?
Time was.
What?
Might have been just that.
Oh, come on. Pigs might fly.
Inspector now, is it?
As you were, years ago.
I'm now and ever shall be.
Why? You could have got on. Been any damn thing.
Do you see me inky-fingered in some office, punting out summonses for riding bikes without lights? I like what I am, what I do.
What do you do?
Put down the ungodly.
And who among the ungodly do I have on my ground that you should put down?
Wait. Until my detective sergeant comes. Then I'll tell you.
Who is your sergeant?
One of the best in crime squad. Which is to say, best in the trade.
Some redneck thief taker, yes? Like you?
Remember when we were in Merthyr Tydfil that time?
Shut up, Harry.
Time of our lives, eh? Didn't it ever snow? There's a fellow over there. Fancy I've seen him somewhere. You know how it is.
Is he the one? Why you're here?
Lord, no. It's just that somewhere I've seen his face.
Like in sporting life?
Like in special notices in the Police Gazette.
And just by chance, he's here. And you're here.
That's the way of it.
You told me once, when I first went to CID.
Lovely you were, too. Like a wildflower in a forest, snorting with pigs.
You told me, in our trade, you said, there's no such thing as chance.
Cause and circumstances, all.
Your table's ready, sir.
Thank you.
The woman he's with, and who she is. Madam President of the town's Women's Guild, she was. Husband owned garages all over, and he's dead. Not so long ago, it was in the papers.
That's interesting. Jean, this is Detective Sergeant Aspen. Annie Aspen, Jean Darbley. Inspector Darbley. Beg pardon, ladies. Annie, just going to telephone the office.
You're in charge of...
Hereabouts, yes.
Harry was saying you were with him once in CID.
Harry was saying, was he?
Can I get you, what, to drink?
We should wait for Detective Inspector Connor, don't you think?
Harry? Well, I know what he drinks. Can't do what we do and still be bloody regimental, as Harry would say.
I know what Harry would say. I've heard him say it. Tell me, Sergeant, why you're here.
Why we're here is for an operation called Mephisto. Operation Mephisto.
What Mephisto was about is forgery. Deutschmarks, French francs, US dollars. Tickets for the Irish sweep shouldn't be surprising.
What's it to do with me?
Where they're going to print the stuff is near ground.
Where?
Netherset Hay. Do you know it? It's a shooting box. Was a shooting box when there was gentry in the land, away up on the moor.
The man who owns it is him, George Henschel.
There now, is he? When?
Soon.
How do you know?
Secret and reliable source, which is to say...
His voices told him.
Georgie Henschel's recruited his team. The gear they need's been got. Treasury paper, cameras, photocopiers, inks. All the gear's been got. Any day now he'll be moving in on you.
What do you want of me?
Only you need know. Not the Women's Institute. Not the Gaslight and Coke Company. Not the Chief Constable, yet. Not even your sergeant.
Why not my sergeant?
About Mephisto, he don't need to know. So you don't tell him. Or anyone. Georgie Henschel's by no means a pudding, do you see? And he's got a shake on him. Crime squad sniffing at his heels. So?
He's not easy to get close to.
So up there on the moor by Netherset Hay, I've rented a cottage.
For his lady friend who is sweating out a divorce and wants to be alone.
You?
Did Jean tell you, Annie, when we were quite young, we were down in Merthyr Tydfil to give evidence at a committal, and it snowed. 3 days and 3 nights it snowed, and the devil away out of Merthyr Tydfil it was, unless you were a bloody St. Bernard. Not a lot to do in Merthyr Tydfil if you don't sing come rondo and don't play rugby. When Annie can tell us that Georgie's team's at Netherset Hay, I'll move my boys in with her and we'll watch them round the clock. Give them time to print notes enough to torpedo the economy of Europe, and then go in mob-handed and feel their collars. But we have a problem.
What?
Where Annie will be, no telephoning. So, no way she can get word out. Only to you. Not got to feel Georgie's collar till he's got his paws in the honey pot, do you see? And then, bingo.
Radio?
Later, yes. When we've got men on the ground. But for now...
Anyway, up there, who would I talk to? I mean, who's in range?
Georgie'd be listening for sure.
Every day until he comes, I'll meet you. Where? In town, not at your station in case I'm watched.
Up there. If Georgie sees so much as a navvy leaning on a shovel, he'll reckon him crime squad and take it on his toes.
What if he comes tonight?
I doubt Georgie will come tonight.
Your voices?
Don't tell me so. No.
Till tomorrow, then?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm awfully sorry.
You.
Thank you.
Our friend. Sure, I've seen his face. If I were you, I'd have words with CRO. Check him out.
I'd need a name.
Try him with Scott. Commander Scott.
Your voices told you, did they?
Nope. She did.
Listen, Nigel. I'm a businesswoman. Never just Jack's wife, you know. It was me that made him. I was selling Ford Pops off a bomb site in Wallasey when I was 16 years old. I'm a businesswoman.
Quite so.
You need cash.
To maintain my source of commercial intelligence in the Balkans.
To keep your customs geezer on the bung, yes, yes, yes. How much?
Sterling, say 1,000 or so.
I'll think about it. I'll let you know tomorrow. I've got to go. So sorry. You're washed up, aren't you? On the beach.
Truth to tell, yes.
How would you like to come in with me?
To do what?
Merchandising?
I wouldn't want you to think that I'd force my acquaintance on you.
What, so as to put the bite on me for 1,000 quid?
Just wanted to say how sorry I was about Jack.
Who was with you in the Ark Royal?
A lot of water passed under the keel since then.
I'll tell you what, about Jack. When he conned me into marrying him, do you know what I was? I was Miss Silversands, 1960. I could have been a model, a top model. I could have married anybody.
Of course you could.
But I didn't. I married into the motor trade, didn't I? Flogged 4 pops off a bomb site in bleeding Wallasey.
He's got a black leather jacket and dirty jeans, and he looks something like that.
They all look like that.
Well, if you do see out like him, on the road maybe, give us a ring, eh? 999.
I will, aye.
And I'll tell you what, mister, what he did to that lass, I tell you, he's psycho, crazy.
Tattooed left forearm, filed anchor, and what? Death before dishonour. Last released from prison April 79. Not wanted. Say again. Not wanted or suspected. Any entry you've got, that's his photograph. It's going back a bit. Case number? 54. I'll see if I have it. Oh, yes, I have him. As the Reverend Nigel Finch Hatton. Made acquaintance of widow, said he had known her late husband. Ambrose Porter, CRO 52. Not wanted, you say, or suspected? Well, no. I suspect him. I'll call you, yeah? Mrs. Newby, this is the police, Inspector Darbley. You won't know me, but we met once at the Times Women's Guild.
After you've had your tea, Bentley, and before the pubs turn out, void houses.
Sarge?
Check the void houses. There's not a lot.
Oh, they're a bit spread out, aren't they, Sarge?
Come on, lad. Where's your enthusiasm? Enthuse! We're servants of the public, especially those that are away on holiday enjoying themselves. Now, that one
It's been screwed a few times. That one, fellow who lives there, he's overseas, in Saudi, where, if you ask me, the Arabs have got the right idea about liberating women and don't. While our ratepayer's in Saudi, down to us to make sure his house ain't been screwed, yes? So after you've taken the ladies the tea, go and have a shufty.
Right, Sarge.
We met before, you said, at the Townswomen's Guild.
Yes.
Somewhere since, though, I think. Like today?
Yes.
Which is why you want to see me.
It's good of you to have come, Mrs. Newby. Milk?
Thank you. What then?
You were with a gentleman for lunch.
Seemed to me so were you.
The one I was with, known him for years. And you? What about the one who was with you?
Why?
My job, the best I can, is to stop folk getting hurt.
Me or him?
You.
Not me, love. Listen, I was selling... What's he done?
Your husband died not so long ago. It was in the papers.
Because he was something big in the motor trade, yeah.
And you carry on the business, do you?
What you reckon is I'm easy.
Easy?
Easy meat for any con artist who might have read in the newspapers that my ever-loving husband, who had been a matelot on the Ark Royal, had popped his clogs, right?
Is that what he did, Mr. Scott?
Oh, Commander Scott, if you please. Royal Navy retired.
Asked you for money, did he?
No. No, I couldn't say that he asked. Not in so many words, asked. And whatever his name is...
Not what he told you?
I've no complaint.
He tried to deceive you, though. Yeah? Said he'd known your husband. That's what he always does.
I've told you, Inspector. I've no complaint. And if I've no complaint, what have you got?
Cause to suspect. Damn good cause to think.
Not evidence, though, to put him in court. Whatever was between him and me is our business, you know? Whatever you've cause to think.
Even so, I'll talk to him.
Tell him, then, from me, he owes me. Tell him from me tomorrow, 9 o'clock.
What?
Start work.
For you?
Got to keep him off the streets, haven't we, love?
Mrs. Newby?
Yeah.
Why?
I told you he owes me.
What, for not shopping him? It's got to be more than that, more than just that.
You're married?
Yes.
Well, then you should know. There are times when we can't do without someone. Anyone.
Head and cue.
They're mine.
Weird.
Let's see, you brought a change of underwear.
All right.
Some scotch on the sidewalk. Leave the card here.
Could I have my key, please?
Certainly, sir.
Thank you.
Oh, by the way, there's a lady waiting to see you.
Oh, thank you. Ah, I thought you'd be...
Mrs. Newby.
someone else.
Ah, but then we quite often are not who we seem.
Ma'am?
Police.
Good Lord. Lady Rosa, you? Who'd have thought? Inspector.
Mr. Porter, I presume.
Not me, ma'am. Some other fellow must be.
Harry?
Can I get you a drink?
Do sit down, Mr. Porter.
It's Scott, actually. Commander Scott.
If you say so. Although I'd love to have met you when you were the Reverend Nigel Finch Hatton.
Who, me?
Made acquaintance of recently bereaved widow. Told her while serving as chaplain in the Royal Air Force had known her late husband. Obtained £300 for mission to women in Battersea. What mission to women in Battersea was that?
That'd be some scoundrel who looks like me.
Must happen quite a lot, you being taken for this scoundrel who looks like you.
Yes. All the time.
Show me your arm.
I'd rather not.
Threadbare, are you? You should have some good woman to look after you.
Death before dishonor. Nicked then, am I?
What for?
False pretenses, attempted false pretenses.
Went out with bicycle clips, false pretenses. What they call it now is criminal deception.
Whatever learned counsel may choose to call it in the indictment, what it means is Porter's in the slammer.
You reckon?
Colette, was it? Who told you?
Who?
Colette. Miss Silversands, 1960. Mrs. Newby.
Mavis. Her name's Mavis.
Mavis? Well, as you say, we're none of us always what we seem.
And as you ask, what Mavis says is, she has no complaints.
No?
Good night, Mr. Porter.
Good night indeed, ma'am.
Oh, Mr. Porter.
Ma'am?
Mrs. Newby said to say you owe her. Said to say 9 o'clock in the morning.
She's appointing me to a post on her firm.
Is she now?
Merchandising.
I tell you what, Mr. Porter. If I was to hear the word, and I surely would, that you were so much as thinking of hooking your claws into some other poor defenceless widow on my ground...
The, slammer?
Oh, yes. And I'll throw away the key. Let's just sit down. Just talk.
I want to sit down now, okay? Just sitting. Okay? Okay. You are hungry, aren't you? What do you want? I've got some This is ridiculous. Can't sit here.
You're all right, love. All right. All right.
Fellow who rented you this place, when he gets back from Saudi Arabia, not going to be very happy about these noisy parties, is he?
You didn't tell me, Sergeant Beck. That gallant lad of yours.
Bentley?
Why he came?
He wouldn't have, if I'd known Crime Squad had an operations on.
No need, was there? For you to have been told.
If I'd known your sergeant was here, I'd have told him to stay clear. And he would have. And your lass would have...
Yes?
It was just luck, that's all. But he should have come when he did.
Luck? No such thing as luck. Cause and circumstance.
What I came to tell you is, we've got him.
Bentley?
Oh, hello.
Hello.
Better?
After fashion, yes.
Come down.
The dogs got him. Ran him into the ground. Gone, are they?
Taking it on their toes to the Argentine by now. Red East West Hartlepool even. Should have seen the ones who got away.
It's been serviced by us from you.
From you?
Yes. It's only had one previous owner, who was known to us personally. He was the local vicar.
I see.
And
Nice.
he well maintained the vehicle, as you can see.
Nice vinyl top. Now, in my trade, I'm a builder, and I tow a trailer, so it's got to be very good on the suspension.
Oh, you'll have no problem towing
Sure.
with this, sir.
Because I've heard this tale before, you know.
Well, the suspension's extremely good, sir.
Seems like sure, because they all say that, you know.
The bodywork in very good condition.
It looks all right.
Well sprung.
It looks quite stable enough. What about the interior? I've got 2 kids and a wife.
Oh, there's plenty of room inside, sir. Fully automatic.
Oh, it is auto. What about the petrol?
Oh, the
What's
petrol
the mileage per
consumption?
gallon?
Oh, I think you'll probably get about 25 out of it in town, sir.
25?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Next on Draught.
Correction 7321. The address is 94. Repeat, 94 Portland Street. Partly to 8077. 8077, go to the...
Hey, don't they get enough of that every day?
Is that why we keep it by the bed all night, every night?
You know why? Because anywhere else it might get nicked. Better?
Marginally.
Time?
I'm on duty again this weekend, did I tell you?
Oh, Tom.
Well, we got 2 people away on a holiday. I couldn't very well refuse.
It's the second weekend in a month.
Nonsense.
I thought we might do something nice. Take ourselves off somewhere.
Jean, I warned you when I took this job that it wouldn't be a 9 till 5 do. Besides, I don't give you a bad time when it happens to you, do I?
No.
Well, then.
You don't exactly go overboard about it either.
You always have to have the last word, don't you?
As a rule. Hello? When? Did he make any statement? What's the problem then? Oh, I see. No, don't do anything now. I'll follow it up in the morning, right? Uh-huh. Yeah. Thanks for letting me know.
Late for shop talk, isn't it?
There's been a development in that Moore Park Road job. I asked them to keep me posted. I was watching that.
We should get some sleep.
Tom.
What?
Good night.
Night.
Hey, you!
Get up, Mum. Come on, just get up. Get out. Come on.
Have your day.
Could say so.
I was thinking, how about you and me having lunch today? Well, why not? Let the world and its problems take care of themselves for an hour, eh?
You've been uniform.
So, I'll wear a coat. Give us a chance to talk as well.
About what?
Oh, Tom. You think I haven't noticed how depressed you are lately? I want to help, if you'll give me a chance.
Well, give us a ring later. See how things are shaping up.
Right. Tom, try and make it if you can.
Do you think it'll solve anything? Morning, Mary. Morning.
Thank you, please. Morning. Oh, Tom, did you manage to finish those case notes on the Brent children?
No, I'm still working on them.
It looks like we found foster parents for them, so could you get them done by tomorrow?
Right.
Yes, I'm still holding.
Any more messages?
Oh, yes, the DHSS phoned about a benefit and Dr. Herrick about a geriatric case. Yes, hello, matron. It's Jenny Randall, Hartley Council.
Thank you.
Yes, yes, that's right. Well, it looks as though that's going to go ahead now. Yes. Could we arrange for a meeting tomorrow then, sometime with you? 2:30?
Tom Darbley.
Good. Okay. I'll make sure that one of the
Oh, of course I didn't know. Yes. Right, I'll tell her.
problem.
We called an emergency case conference on the Cartwright couple.
You went to see them yesterday, didn't you? Didn't you?
Yes. Apparently, within an hour of my leaving, she was admitted into casualty. Had to have 10 stitches in her head.
What happened?
An accident, she said.
Again?
Exactly.
Where is she now?
She's at home. Discharged herself.
Oh. Well, there's no way you could have predicted it would happen, Tom.
So why the conference?
It's routine.
Good try, Jenny. I'm going round there, see what's going on.
Is that a good idea?
Oh, can I borrow your car?
Is that a good idea?
Always bus it.
Come on, Laura. Stop playing silly beggars. I know you're in there. I just want to talk, that's all, you know. You're not achieving anything by this. I'll be back and you know it.
So you worked in an office originally?
Yes, Mum.
Doing what?
Typing, filing, general office dog's body. It bored me rigid.
And you decided police work wouldn't?
I wanted to do something a little more demanding than pounding a typewriter.
I see you specially asked for this attachment. Why here in particular?
Because of you. You came to the training school, gave us a talk on women's integration in the force, how it's been for the good, how women still have to try twice as hard to prove themselves, but they could do it if they had the determination.
I obviously made an impression.
You did.
And you thought by asking for this posting that you'd get preferential treatment?
Well, not at all. Why'd you say that?
It's one interpretation.
I simply wanted to work under someone I admired and respected. Is there anything wrong with that?
That's important to you.
Of course. Isn't it to you?
And supposing I don't live up to your expectations, what then? What I'm saying is, giving a lecture on the theory is one thing, putting it into practice is another. You might not find that relaxed performance you saw me give at the training school applies here. It doesn't.
You asked me why I applied for this attachment, and I've told you the reason.
And I'm simply suggesting there might be more appropriate ones. It's the job that counts, not the people who do it.
Yes, Mum.
I don't get the feeling I've explained myself too well.
Oh, I think I understand what you're saying, Ma'am.
Right, well, we'll talk again later. When you've found your feet. In the meantime, I'll show you about, and I think Sergeant Becky's going to second you to someone so you can do a patrol duty.
Yes, Mum. Thank you, Mum.
Interview room A. Interview room B.
Actually, PC Bentley's already shown me where everything is. I'd just as soon start work if it's all right with you.
And you saw them running off where?
Perfectly.
Right, we'll send someone over to check it out. Thank you.
Trouble?
Doubt it. Old girl spotted two lasses messing about with parked cars on the Waterloo estate. Only she didn't bother to report it until she'd got her curlers out and come back from the laundrette. Probably halfway to Manchester by now.
Tell Benter to go over there when he goes out on patrol.
Right.
Oh, and perhaps he'd like to take Hannah with him. She's rather anxious to get started. Thank you, Mum.
Had the old welcoming routine, have you?
Something like that.
Don't let first impressions mislead you, love. Behind that steel facade beats a heart of solid wrought iron.
Sorry.
To recap, we've been supervising the Cartwrights for just over 18 months, since Jack Cartwright had his accident and became wheelchair-bound. There's a recurrent history of drink, intermittent violence, and a general failure to cope with their altered situation. Right, Jenny. Anything you want to add?
Tom's been dealing with this one, Vivian.
Oh, Tom.
Well, things had been improving. Except yesterday morning, I had a letter from Laura, Mrs. Cartwright, saying that things were going badly wrong again.
Have you got the letter?
Anyway, I called round there late yesterday afternoon, but well, when I went, she said it was all a mistake.
Yes? Is that it?
Oh, I pressed her about it, naturally, but well, she said she'd written the letter whilst depressed, and now she felt much better about it.
Dr. Jason?
Was the husband present at this meeting?
Yes.
What did he have to say?
Nothing.
You discussed this letter, the one she'd written in his presence.
Yes, I did.
Well, was that wise? I understood he resents our supervision anyway. He regards it as state interference. Well, he can't have been too pleased when he heard she'd written to you behind his back.
But look, he knew about the letter, I'm sure of it.
How long were you there?
10 minutes.
And an hour later, she was on her way to hospital.
So you think what happened to her and my visit are linked?
We simply want to find out what, if anything, you picked up at this meeting. If you sensed there was something wrong between them.
Well, if I had sensed something wrong, I'd done something about it, wouldn't I?
It's quite in character for Laura to write a letter like this. A letter she doesn't really mean. She's not exactly rational at the best of times.
Except she clearly did mean it, because what she was worried about happened.
And would have happened with or without a visit from us.
That's a matter of opinion.
Yes, well, I don't think anyone should be condemned on an opinion, do you?
Look, she called it an accident, which is what she said last time and the time before that. What kind of accident in God's name?
What's her condition now, Doctor?
Well, the injury itself sounds straightforward enough. I'll call in later today, check it out.
If she let you in, she wouldn't me.
You've been back.
Well, of course I've been back. And as soon as I heard what had happened, what did you expect?
I expected you to wait. I want you to get round there right away, Jenny. Assess the situation. We'll find out what really happened and report back to me with appropriate recommendations. We'll reconvene at 4 o'clock.
Right.
Thanks for your time, everyone.
Perhaps we'll get a little further at 4 o'clock than we have this afternoon.
Tom, the whole point of this meeting is to decide what action, if any, to take.
So?
Well, it's a somewhat pointless exercise if that decision is preempted by someone acting on their own initiative and without consultation, wouldn't you say?
Well, you're asking my opinion, are you? I got the impression it wasn't rated very highly.
We'll speak later, Jenny.
Oh, come on, Tom. I know what Dr. Jason thinks about social workers. He regards us all as amateur do-gooders. He virtually said as much. But you haven't got the monopoly on Vivian Maxley's reprimands. We've all had to suffer them.
Yes, well, it's a bit different with me, isn't it?
Why? Because she's a woman?
Because everybody around here seems to think I was born the day before I started this job. Well, I wasn't. I held down a job, a very responsible job, for 15 years. And I didn't become a social worker to be slagged off by anybody who wants to take a pot shot at me.
Oh, you expected to be thanked by everyone, did you?
Well, why not? Eh? Just by way of a change.
Look, whether you like it or not, you're still in training. And part of that training is taking criticism. It is possible, conceivable, that you did make a mistake. We'll just have to find out when we get there.
We?
Yes, we. As senior social worker on this case, I can still make some decisions.
Which route are we taking?
The quickest.
In that case, it's the bypass. I bought a street map before I ride. I'll navigate if you like, unless you prefer I drive.
She's keen. You can't deny it.
She's that all right. I just hope he can stand the pace.
Industrial estate. Traffic's the worst headache. Even in rush hour especially.
We did a special course on traffic as part of our training.
Oh?
Just classroom theory, mainly. But they reckoned that flexi-time would solve half the traffic problems.
Did they?
Perhaps your inspector should have a word with some of the employers. Explain to them the problem traffic has on the deployment of police manpower.
Maybe you'd like to suggest it to her. Moore Park Road, where we get most of the pro break-ins. If we've got enough men, we like to make a patrol most nights. Made an arrest last night, as a matter of fact, from a job last Easter.
You did?
One of the night lads.
I've not done an arrest yet. Have you?
One or two.
Mind you, we covered most of it in training. The procedures and so forth. But I dare say there's a lot more to it than that. It would be naive to think otherwise.
Just a touch. They'll be well away by now. The report was an hour old when we got it.
Well, we can talk to the witness, can't we?
Hello, Laura. Where is he?
Where do you think?
Would you rather talk here?
Talk about what?
Well, we could start with the gash in your head.
I walked into a door.
Oh, terrific. We've had the official version. Now, how about the unofficial one?
Ask him.
I'm asking you. Well, come on, Laura. What was it that made him mad? Was it because you'd written that letter to Tom? Is that what set him off?
Oh, we knew I'd written. Christ, he should have. He dictated the bloody letter.
Well, within minutes of Tom leaving here last night, he was laying into you again. So if it wasn't Tom's letter or his visit, what was it?
I didn't say it wasn't Tom's visit.
Do you want to explain that?
Oh, what's the point?
Look, would it make it easier if I left?
You can do what the hell you like.
I'm waiting, Laura.
We wrote that letter because we knew things were getting bad again. Jack was drinking again. We were fighting again. We just didn't know how to stop. And he always said when we felt like that to let him know and he'd be here.
But when I asked you about it, you said it was all a mistake, remember?
It was. The minute you walked in, we knew it was. I've only got a minute, he says. What's the problem, he says. I'm on my way to another client, he says. Client? You'd think he was a bloody salesman.
He did come as soon as he got your letter.
Oh, yes, he came. He always comes. For 5 minutes. 10 if you're lucky. But he always comes, oh, yes.
Look, I do have other people on my list, you know, Laura.
People? Is that what you call them? I thought they were just names and numbers.
Oh, come on, you know I don't operate like that.
No.
I don't get any of this. When Tom took over this case, you were really pleased.
Yes, well then, he just didn't give advice, did he? He gave a bit of time to go with it. Do you know what he does when he comes here, before he rings the doorbell? He stands out there looking through our files so he can remember our names and why he's come. So he's got it all word perfect before he comes in.
Look, if I do it, it's only because I want to be fully acquainted with all the facts.
God, he even sounds like a bloody textbook.
Yes, well, none of this explains what happened here last night.
We sat in all day waiting for him. We thought if we could just hold out long enough, we'd be all right. We'd be able to talk it through with him. And when he came, we knew it was useless. Useless.
What was it you wanted to talk through with him, Laura? Well, it must have been something.
Oh, what the hell does it matter now, anyway?
Well, it matters to me, Laura. Look, I know somehow things have got fouled up between us. But that doesn't mean to say that I don't care about you. And I don't want to help you.
Help? You're never here to help, are you? Where are you when he starts on about his accident? About what it's done to him? About how he isn't a man anymore? Every night the same thing, over and over. Well, where are you? You want to know how I got this? Well, he hit me with a bottle and I let him, just the way I always let him. And you talk to me about help.
But why? Why do you let him do it?
Because he's got to lash out at someone, hasn't he? He's got to hurt someone. And if I don't let him do it to me,
Come on, if you don't let him do it to you, what? What, Laura?
I'm afraid he may do something to himself. Now, get out! You've got what you came for. Well, go and write it down in one of your files, but get out.
Come on, Laura.
Get out!
I told you, they'd be well clear by now.
It was worth a try. Now, how about having a look at the town? We can go north up Canal Street, left into Junction Road, and then take a right fork into the top of the High Street.
Tom, why on earth didn't you tell me things were going so badly wrong?
I didn't think they were.
How many cases have you got on at the moment?
Offhand, God knows.
Approximately.
40.
40? How?
Well, some are follow-ups from the intake duties. Referrals. We've got 2 people away on leave. I promised to supervise some of their work while they're away.
You're supposed to check with me before you take on any new cases.
Yes, I thought I could handle it.
It's too much.
Well, what am I supposed to do? Hand them back and say I can't cope?
That's exactly what you're supposed to do. What do you think? People are going to say you failed because you can't take on a new case? It doesn't work like that. I told you from the beginning. Pace yourself.
I wanted to prove that I was up to it.
Why? We're not in competition with each other. You don't rate success in this job like that.
Oh, all right, then I'll elbow half my caseload.
Tom, I am trying to find out what's gone wrong. Oh, look, it's probably my fault. I could see that you were... Well, I should have said something before. I just assumed it was something to do with Jean.
Jean? Why?
I don't know, things you've said, or rather haven't said.
Look, do us a favour, will you, Jenny? Just leave the psychoanalysis bit for the clients.
Stop the car.
What is it?
I want to do a walkabout.
Hey?
The training school said if you want to get to know a place and the people in it, there's no better way than getting out there amongst them.
We're supposed to stick together.
We're supposed to use our initiative, right? I'll be half an hour.
Well, make sure you are. Hey, I'll meet you here in 30 minutes. Oi! Be here.
Well, isn't it? Cool.
Come on.
I need your help. Mrs. Bailey? You better get back to your counter.
Right. Perhaps you'd like to tell me what happened?
Well, together with Mrs. Bailey, my counter assistant, I watched these two girls taking various items and putting them into their pockets and into that bag. It's all here. 4 pairs of tights, 2 pairs of sunglasses, 2 packs of eyeshadow, a can of hairspray, mascara, and a jar of face cream. They then left the shop without making any attempt to pay. We followed them and picked them up outside in the usual way.
Well, you've heard what this man has said. I must warn you that you are not obliged to say anything unless you wish to, and that anything you say may be put into writing and given in evidence. Do you understand? Haven't you got anything to say for yourselves at all?
Yes, miss. We didn't do it, miss. Honest, we didn't.
Sit down.
Comedians. It's still the same old joke.
Very well. I'll have your names and addresses, please. All right. We'll do it the hard way.
That dry food delivery's arrived. He said you wanted to check it before he went.
Tell him I'll be out in a minute.
Well, he's already unloaded. He wants to get away.
Look, I'll have to go. All right.
Yes.
I'll lock the door after me. Just shout if you want anything.
Right.
I'll not be long.
Would you remain seated, please? Oh, this is WPC Maynard here. I'm at Lawson's store, and I need transport back to the station for 2... I said sit down!
Look at it. The original Miss Peggy.
Give that back to me! Give it back!
Hello? Hello? Hartley to 7189.
7189, are you there?
7189 to Hartley.
Get yourself to Lawson's stores, quick as you can. WPC Maynard needs backup.
Right.
What on earth was she doing there on her own?
Ask Bentley.
I intend to. And ring the manager, see if you can find out what the hell's happening. Sorry, not just me.
Oh, bloody hell.
The fire escape!
Suspects. 2 girls. Got out the back door. I'm in pursuit.
From the back of Lawson's store, Mum.
Right, I'll try and cut them off.
Come on! Oh, leave it out! Get me! Big hands off me! Get off! Lay off me!
Get up!
Leave me alone!
Get up! Get up!
What on earth made you do it? I'm waiting for an explanation.
She insisted on it, ma'am.
Oh, I see. Even though you're the more experienced officer, even though she was specifically put in your charge, under your responsibility, she insisted on going off alone and you went along with it.
The idea was that it'd only take a minute or two.
In other words, no one would be any the wiser. You do realise that if you'd gone by the book, followed Sergeant Beck's instructions to stick with her, none of this would have happened. That little penny has dropped, I take it?
Yes, ma'am. Sorry, ma'am.
Unfortunately, that doesn't put anything right, does it? Right. Now, let's have your version, Mum. Straight out of training school or not, Hannah, you do know you shouldn't go it alone, don't you?
I was just looking round.
That doesn't answer my question. What exactly happened in there with the 2 girls?
They jumped me. I wasn't ready for it.
Which is why we didn't want you wandering off alone in the first place. Now perhaps that message will have sunk in.
Yes, Mum.
How about the big exit? What was all that in aid of? Couldn't you have cleaned up first?
I could have, yes. Well, I thought people should know. All they ever see is the other side, isn't it? The efficient public face. Well, I wanted them to see the other one. We have to face it every day. Why shouldn't they, for once?
Face what, exactly?
This.
Rather a melodramatic way of proving a point.
It's the way a lot of them think of us, isn't it? What I've got to carry about with me for the rest of my working life. Perhaps I just wanted to get used to the idea.
And have you?
No.
Well, whatever your reasons, I don't want to see you doing it again, understood? If people want to think that about us, no amount of dramatic little gestures will make them change their minds. That's something you're just going to have to accept. You can't do the job if you don't, Hannah. Now go and clean yourself up. Let me help you.
I'm locked up.
Tom, I'm still waiting to hear what happened to our lunch.
Oh.
So much for making more time for each other.
Well, we've got time now, haven't we? So, if we'd had this lunch, what would we have talked about?
I told you, us.
And?
How we seem to be pulling in different directions. How we never confide in each other anymore. How you seem to resent it whenever I talk about my work. Things like that.
What conclusions would we have come to?
That if we didn't want to risk our marriage, we'd have to do something about it. Assuming you think we are risking it.
Yeah.
Well, that's one thing we're agreed on. Why didn't you really meet me today, Tom?
Oh, I've screwed things up at work, Jean.
Badly?
Bad enough.
How? Why?
Usual story, trying to do too much too early. When I first started social work, they give us this little pep talk about how you should always let your feelings guide you. When you meet a client, you should tap your own feelings about them in order to understand them better. Even if you feel disgust or... Well, you must use it constructively, because even a negative feeling is a starting point. Providing that you trust your feelings. You haven't lost the knack of feeling anything in the first place. Anyway, I decided that was all so much guff. Logic, that's what was needed. So, I went for the practical approach. I took on more and more cases just to prove I was right. Instead of which, all I managed to prove was that I was incompetent and irresponsible. So after 3 months, I'm back where I started. My way didn't work. If I want to stick at it, I've got to try theirs.
What's wrong with that?
Nothing, assuming I'm capable of it.
Of course you are.
If it gets to be a habit, putting a dampener on your feelings, I'm not sure I can break it. God knows I've done it often enough with you.
Me?
So you're right about the resentment. I resent it all. The fact that when the phone rings, it's never for me. When we go out, it's always your career that's the sole topic of conversation. Just that everyone regards you as more successful.
But I'm not.
Other people think you are.
Other people?
We can't just ignore other people, Jean. I don't care about what people think of me.
This is ridiculous, Tom. You're just trying to find a reason because your job hasn't worked as smoothly as you expected, and so you're blaming mine.
I'm blaming myself. If I can just face some of the doubts that I sometimes have about us, then maybe I can do the same with other people.
Your clients, you mean?
Yes.
So I'm to be a guinea pig for them?
I'm the one that's on trial, Jean. Look, I think part of the thing that's been going wrong with us is the same problem that I have at work. Because I'm ashamed of some of the things that I feel. I've tried to ignore them. If I'm ever going to do the job properly, if we're ever going to get back to where we were, then I've just got to face a few things, that's all I'm saying.
That phone might ring at any moment, Tom. You still going to feel resentment?
Possibly. At least we put a name to it now, haven't we? Right?
How can you resent someone you love, even if they are successful?
Perhaps because you're afraid they might not love you if you're not.
You idiot.
Are we ever going to get into this bed or what?
I'm on my way. I thought you wanted an early night.
I do. There's a fight on.
And the southpaw from London, young Terry Barker. And they are two very young men indeed. Barker in green.
You haven't told me about your day.
The London champion comes from Edgware. And John Lyon in the white vest
Nothing to tell.
and white boots. Only 18. A glass worker who put out the defending champion, Joe Dawson.
I who have nothing. To fancy clubs and restaurants. Nose pressed up against the window pane.
Heavy duty HGV batteries, assorted manufacture, all new. Item 3 pneumatic jacks. Pneumatic. P. L-M-N-O-P. P-N. Detective Sergeant Melchett. Oh, hello, sir. What, from London? What do they want up here? State secret, is it? Yes, I'll do that. I'll ask them. When I'm expecting them this afternoon? Right, better tell the boss, hadn't I? Do we have names for these two Wallies? Who? Winder. Right, Winder, yeah. What? Oh, Fornell. Right, thanks, sir. Yes, if I find out, I'll let you know. You're not trying to tell me Waterloo Estate's a radio dead spot all of a sudden, are you?
Duff set. Might not have been charged right.
Yeah. One day that'll happen and it'll be urgent.
Leave it out. I'll have it checked.
Hello, ma'am.
Sergeant,
Who won?
who do you expect?
You?
Well, don't sound so surprised about it.
Bayek. Nailed him.
What did he get?
240 hours community service.
Well, you've made my day. I was beginning to think that young hooligan would never get his card marked.
A real feather in your cap, ma'am.
Aye, very creditable.
You're very kind, but I can do without it, you know. Every time I get a result, you treat it like some minor miracle. If you've any congratulations left over, you might remember Roland here. I couldn't have done it without my star witness.
Well done, lad. Now, the inspector wouldn't say it if she didn't mean it.
Hey, up shop.
Can't do anything right, can we?
How long before you admit she's got a point, Joe?
Can we help you, sir?
I want to see someone.
All right. Will I do, sir?
No.
Mr. Greenwood, isn't it? What can we do for you, sir?
I want to see Gaffer.
Yes, well, you tell me what it's about and I'll decide that, sir, if you don't mind.
It's about yon foreigner up at Tarnhill House killing my sheep.
Strictly speaking, your sheep shouldn't have been on the road, should it, Mr. Greenwood?
Oh, where have you been, love? Can't have had one.
No, I do realise that, but you've no actual proof that it was Mr. Palin who ran over it.
There's only him and me uses that back road, and he drives it like it's a bloody racetrack. And that's for now, man. What's it going to be like when he's open, damn place? Cars at all hours, half of them too tanked to see straight, on them lanes.
There was an inquiry, Mr. Greenwood, to consider all these objections before any licence was granted.
I know. I were there. But a right fix do.
It's rather a wild allegation.
He'd greased off Palmsby then.
I think you ought to be a bit careful what you say, Mr. Greenwood.
Look, love. Should I tell you what he offered me to drop me objection?
None of this is strictly relevant to your dead sheep, Mr. Greenwood.
Except there's going to be more, isn't there? Bound to be.
No, not if you repair your walls or whatever and keep them where they're supposed to be.
Oh, well. Bloody obvious whose side you're on.
I am on no one's side. Now, whoever ran over that sheep hasn't reported it, which is an offence. I shall certainly be going to talk to Mr.
Talk?
Palin. It will be investigated, but as regards the future, you are his nearest neighbour, and like it or not, I think you're just going to have to make some effort to live together.
I hate him. I hate what he's doing. Bloody drinking and God knows what. My place used to be home farm to Tarnhill House once. I can remember when folk like him wouldn't get past gate. No. You tell him from me any more trouble and I shan't bother to come here again. I'll sort it myself.
Send him up after lunch.
Right, boss.
Hello, Pete. How's tricks?
What's this? Lose your way up the North Circular, did you?
Bearer of bad news, I'm afraid. Martin's out.
So what went wrong? I mean, he got 15, didn't he? So tell me about it.
Took it on his toes, didn't he?
Escaped?
Yeah, went up for his appeal, jumped the screws.
Stroll on.
I had a bit of help with it, mind you.
He'll be looking for you, Pete.
Well, yes, he would, wouldn't he?
Take him a bit to find, Joe.
What are you going to do?
Well, we're here.
I can't drop out of sight again. I'm supposed to be opening this place in a fortnight.
Best talk to the locals. Get them sorted.
Bloody hell.
What we doing here, huh? I mean, what's it matter? He's a slag the same as Martin.
It's not Pete we're bothered about, is it? It's nicking Martin when he comes to do him. That's why we're here, Cole.
Are we? Looks like they want you to back up.
Have to learn their manners then, won't they?
Squannies.
Here. See that bit of skirt? Could have sworn she had pips up.
Sheep? I never touched his sheep.
There aren't many cars use that lane, Mr. Palin.
You're here because of a sheep?
One dead beast may not seem a lot to you, sir, but somebody like Mr. Greenwood, it's a big loss.
Are you saying that I killed it? I'm bloody have him.
He's saying it could have been, and I'm asking if it was.
It'd have been him a deep freeze by now, wouldn't it?
They call that theft.
Oh, for pity's sake.
If it wasn't you, sir, have you any idea who it could have been?
Look, I've got electricians, carpet layers, blooming great furniture vans coming and going. How the hell am I supposed to know?
Yes, well, we'd like a list of all the vehicles that may have used the lane this morning so they can be checked. Also, I understand that you gave an undertaking to the inquiry, Mr. Palin, to restrict all vehicular access to the premises to the drive leading off the main road so that this back lane wouldn't be used.
Once we were opened, we're not yet. What we were talking about there were the punters' cars, that's all.
I think you might be well advised to make that all cars, including your own, as of now, Mr. Palin.
Well, that adds another 4 miles on.
I don't want Greenwood provoked into starting a range war.
Miserable git.
He's been here a lot longer than you have.
So what?
So, you'll abide by your undertaking, or I'll have this place closed so fast you won't know what's hit you.
Bloody knockcot.
We, passed in the lane. Wonder what Pete had been up to.
Murdering sheep.
What is this? Who are you?
Detective Inspector Winder, Detective Sergeant Fournell. Shall I inspect your card, Cole?
What's going on here?
You the governor?
Of this section, yes.
Oh, just about to make our number with you.
Save your breath. All she's interested in protecting is dumb sheep.
Just what is going on here?
I thought we were expecting Governor.
Not by me.
Well, that's not our fault, is it? I mean, if your people don't tell you these things.
Oh, hello. I'm glad you're back.
Were you aware of the fact that we have 2 officers from the Met sitting on our patch?
Yes, Winder and somebody. I've got it written somewhere.
Then why the blazes didn't you tell me?
I've been trying to catch you.
Did it not occur to you to leave a message? I can read.
I didn't think it would make much sense.
At least it might have saved me from giving the impression that I didn't know what was going on in my own section.
I don't get it. Who's been having a go at you?
That's not the point, Sergeant, is it? But since you ask, they have. Our 2 visitors from London, who no doubt think that we're just clod-upping country cousins without us going out of our way to prove them right.
Sorry, Mum.
The point is, Sergeant, you had a clear duty to make sure I received that information at the earliest possible moment, not just when it suited you, sometime never.
Point taken, Mum.
Yes, well, I hope it is. Right. Now, I think Mr. Logan ought to be in on this, don't you?
Well, if I knew what they were here for, I might be able to say.
I think you better ring your wife, David. Warn her you might be late home.
She's a bit of all right, isn't she? Huh? Your governor.
How do you mean?
A good looker. Wouldn't you say, Gov?
Depends whether you like it in uniform. Never gone for it myself. How about you, Sergeant?
Never thought about it, sir.
Yeah, I can believe that.
I was on hobos with a woman inspector once. Very popular lady.
I think you'll find Inspector Darbley's pretty popular herself around these parts.
I couldn't do it, you know. Take orders from a skirt.
The only thing that counts is how well the job gets done. Inspector Darbley's as good as any male boss I've known.
Your trouble, you're just a sexist pig, Cole.
Sorry to have kept you.
Oh, that's all right. Sergeant Beck's been keeping us well amused. He's a real fan of yours.
Detective Sergeant Melchett, Detective Inspector Winder, Detective Sergeant Fornell. Do you think you could find us another chair, please, Sergeant?
Yes, ma'am.
Right, well, so we all know what we're talking about. I think you better fill Sergeant Melchett in up to date.
You got a fella living up here called Palin, Peter Palin.
Tarn Hill House Country Club, owner of.
The London bloke, right?
Ran a string of drinking clubs and restaurants. Thing is, he had a business partner called Martin Wright, and he's a real villain. Palin was the front man. The way they work it, Wright knocks over some security vans, supermarket or something, and the money gets laundered through the business. Buys another restaurant, maybe.
It's not unknown.
Thank you, Sergeant.
Oh, Tarjo.
See you in the morning.
Yes, ma'am. Good night.
Oh, good night, Joe.
Anyway, I don't know why, but Palin decides he's not happy.
Oh, I reckon he just got greedy.
Yeah, well, whatever, he grassed him. Got Wright sent down for a 15 stretch. Then he sold up, pocketed all the money, his partner's as well as his own, and cleared off up here.
And this is a fella who's just been granted a liquor licence.
Well, why not? He's clean, he's got no record.
Unsavoury associations at the very least.
So what's your interest now?
Martin Wright got himself sprung 3 days ago.
And you think he could be headed this way?
Well, I don't know the way he feels about Palin. I'd put money on it.
But no proof that he is?
No.
Only if he is, and if he gets to him.
If he was prepared to stay put in one place, his house, then I might be able to offer him some level of protection.
That's just backstop stuff, though, isn't it?
Only real protection is to make sure Wright never gets that near him.
Well, I presume every police force in the country will be doing that. I mean, we are talking about an escaped criminal. Hopefully he'll never get this far.
Hopefully.
Still, got to assume he will, though, haven't we?
Yes, I realise that.
Look, a little back end of nowhere like this should be able to clock who comes in, no bother.
Just how many men do you think I've got?
Road checks, rail stops, bus station, how many does it take?
For how long?
Till he's nicked.
You don't actually know that he's headed this way.
He is. Just take it from us.
You've no proof.
Well, what do you think we're doing here? If I wasn't 100% certain, do you think my governor would let us swan all the way up here?
He could just as easily be making for his wives, his girlfriends, abroad even.
He's got no wife, his bird's being watched, just in case I'm wrong, but I'm not.
You give me something solid like proof that he's actually headed this way, and I will ask Division for reinforcements and give Palin blanket protection. But until then, he will have to make do with loose surveillance. I will send a car round his house and his club at regular intervals.
Who's your governor?
Detective Chief Inspector Logan, only he works out of division.
Right, you make us a meet with him, son. We're staying at a place called...
Bellin.
We'll be waiting to hear from you.
Detective Chief Inspector Logan is fully aware that it still comes back to a question of my manpower.
I'm sure he is, ma'am, but it just seems to me he ought to know what's going on. Night, both. You may reckon your pin-up girl's the best thing that's happened since Charlie's Angels, Sergeant. but I can tell you she wouldn't last 2 days where we come from. And if she doesn't get hold of what policing's all about, we're going to have this station jumping.
Today started so well. Go home, David. If your tea's spoilt, tell your wife to blame me.
Thank you, Mum.
Sergeant Martin. Hello, love. Still at it?
They call it dedication. I don't know what the answer is, except maybe getting a dictaphone in the car, dictating as I go along.
Oh, get some funny looks from the traffic cops. This room's a mess. In fact, it's a right tip.
Suppose it is.
What do you mean, you suppose it is?
When you get used to it, you stop seeing it after a while.
Wants to be decorating for a start. I'll have to... What colour do you fancy? Then we might have some incentive to keep it tidy.
What's that?
It's this crazy life we lead. Both of us too knackered to do anything except fall into bed and sleep.
Look, it's not easy writing these things. I'm getting behind as it is. Can you just let me finish this one, then we can talk,
Anything to eat? Sorry.
I bought some chips in.
Suppose I better make myself something then. Except I can't be bothered. Fancy a drink?
Not a bad day.
One in court.
Oh, well done.
We've got 2 Met coppers visiting. Oh, they really know how to rub you up the wrong way. Do you know, today I've been treated like the head girl of an all-boys school. Tolerated as a temporary aberration.
Oh, I'm sorry, love.
The trouble is, they might be right. And I was less than helpful, not only because of what they wanted, but also because I didn't like them.
Well, perversity isn't confined to women, is it?
Not many men would admit it. I'm not looking forward to tomorrow. Somehow retrieving the situation.
Right. Thanks. Hanging on there, are you? Yeah. Well, let us know one way or the other. I will do.
Anything I should know?
Bentley's just been on from the hospital. Palin's still alive. I reckon he'll likely stay that way as well.
Conscious.
And Mr. Logan's waiting for you in your office, Mum.
So
only just occurred to somebody to inform us. What kind of ship do you run, lady?
As tight as you'll find.
Got them well trained, have you, to cover for you? Give you time while you get your excuses sorted? Well, let's just get clear on one thing. If we miss Nick him right, it's down to you.
If you want your meet with Mr. Logan, you better follow me. If you ever have anything to say to me again, Inspector, you'll know your time and your place, or I'll have you off my patch for good and all. Detective Inspector Winder, sir, and Sergeant Fornell. They've only just heard.
Gentlemen. Sir. You'll not have been out to the scene, then?
No, sir.
Oh, well, it's best not to have too many feet tramping all over. I left scenes of crimes well at it.
At least we've not got murder, sir.
Yet.
Chances are we won't have either. The hospital's just been on.
He's lucky, then.
I take it he's not able to talk yet. Lucky, but not right helpful, then. I see that you reckon this escaped con Martin Wright for it.
Always sworn he'd get him.
We even had a whisper that's why he got himself sprung, didn't we, Gov?
Well, if it was him, he'll not be on our patch now, then.
Sergeant Tunstall there, please. Sergeant Beckett Hartley. Ta. Fred. Yeah, it must be all of that. Listen, Fred, you know this fella Martin Wright who's gone over the wall at the Scrubs? Well, we've got these two Met Wallers sitting on us up here, reckoning he's going to turn up here. It's a long story, Fred. The thing is, I've got a sneaking suspicion that this Wright fella might be on your patch, not ours. What do you reckon? Now, what I'm trying to say is, it could be. And I'd like these two Met Jacks to think he is. Do you follow me? That's the idea, Fred. Champion.
Engine was still warm. I reckon it must have happened not more than an hour before he was found.
Which was at 7:53. Any vehicle seen at or near the house between 6 a.m. and 7:45?
We can narrow that down a bit, sir. We've been keeping a regular eye on Tarnhill House as of last night. P.C. Clegg's previous visit was at 6:30 this morning. Nothing out of the ordinary.
A gun, then. Fired, yes?
At him or by him?
No obvious bullet wound that I could see.
Checking with the hospitals? Anything that we've missed? Yes, Inspector?
Sorry to interrupt, sir. Thought you ought to know. We've had word Wright may have been sighted.
Where?
Manchester, sir.
When?
Last night. He booked into a hotel this morning. They found he'd left without paying his bill.
Identified by photo, have they?
As far as I know.
I take it you've no objection if Sergeant Fornell and I drive over to Manchester, sir?
There's no reason to believe that he'd go back there?
We'd like to make sure just the same. Might turn something up.
Up to you.
You're to get in touch with Sergeant Tunstall. He's got all the details. He'll fill you in. You'll find him at headquarters. If you don't know the way, I'll give you directions.
What were you going to say, Jean?
I think we're in danger of getting blinkered by this Martin Wright fella. I think we should be very careful to keep an open mind. Because despite what these two gentlemen seem so sure of, I'm not at all convinced that this attack has anything to do with Wright.
Why?
It looks like Palin was beaten up, badly. But that's not the same thing at all as someone actually trying to kill him. And if it had been his ex-partner, I would have expected him to make a better job of it than that.
I'd go along with that.
So, you're favouring what?
We know Palin made enemies. There's a farmer, his nearest neighbour, who was good as threatened to do him over here in my office.
A feud, then? Something local?
Why not?
All right. An open mind, then. No blinkers. Let us explore every possibility there is. Only, Jean, let us not get blinkered the other way either. Just because you don't want it to be this fella Wright doesn't mean that it's not.
Afternoon, Mr. Greenwood. Lost any more sheep at all?
I weren't expecting you.
You didn't answer my question, Mr. Greenwood. Have you lost any more sheep?
No. Should I have?
I take it you've heard what happened.
I just saw all them police cars and ambulances and thought it must be bloody Monte Carlo rally.
You didn't see any other cars or anything up at the house a bit earlier, did you?
No. And I can't say I'd tell you if I had. Palin got what we're coming to, and I can't say I'm right, sorry.
What time are you usually up and about of a morning?
6-ish. I've only a few cows, but they need milking.
How long does that take?
Oh, I'm usually through by 7.
And then what do you do? This morning, what did you do?
I made my breakfast.
Have it on your own, do you?
Ah, if my lad's not here.
And this morning?
I were alone.
Where's your lad?
How should I know? He does what he wants.
So you weren't anywhere near the house until you heard the police cars and the ambulance arriving?
That's right.
As an alibi, Mr. Greenwood, I have to tell you this. It couldn't be much thinner. You can't prove a word of it.
I can't help that, can I?
You won't deny you made threats against Mr. Palin when you were in my office.
I meant him and all if he'd had any more of my sheep. Somebody never gave him the chance, did they?
I'm a feeling it's going to be a long, hard haul.
A man like Palin's probably got more enemies than friends.
A lot of legwork, Sergeant.
Crossing Greenwood off, then, are we?
For the moment. But let's not forget about him.
And is that everything during the past 3 days? Yeah, well, what about vehicles recovered that were stolen in the south or over Manchester way? No, we'll make certain we're the first to know, will you? Yeah, nothing. Well, I think I'm going to call it a day. How about you?
Well, there's something, I'm sure of it. Something.
Like what?
Tarnhill House? I don't know. Something not right, only I'm bloody if I can put my finger on it.
Sleep on it. Good night.
How soon before he can be interviewed? Well, it's essential for us to know whether he can identify the driver. Just look at some photographs. I see. Well, thanks for letting us know anyway. Not sure whether it's good news or not. No, I don't suppose it does make much difference to him, but it might to us. Bye. Apparently his injuries are wholly consistent with having been knocked down and run over by a vehicle of some kind. Which makes me think it might be right after all. Waits for him to arrive, knocks him down and away. Any joy?
Not a lot. No, I think it's fair to say it wasn't quite as fruitful as we'd hoped.
I'm sorry.
Sergeant Tunn's still a friend of yours, is he, Sergeant Beck?
I know him, sir.
Nice bloke. Yes, very helpful too, wasn't he, Cole?
Oh, definitely. Got to know our way around Manchester pretty good, thanks to him.
You know what we've been doing all day? Just sitting in a motor, driving round Manchester all day, thanks to him.
No leads?
Wright was never in Manchester, lovey. Tunstall knows it, and your sergeant here knows it. Wild bloody goose chase. He ever pulls a stroke like that again, I'll have his bloody warrant card.
No idea what they're talking about, man.
Hey, listen, pal. What's happened to your windscreen? Hey,
No, I'm sorry. There's nothing like that been handed in. Well, if it is...
7189 to Hartley.
Yes, I've got your address, Mrs. Hudson.
7189 to Hartley.
Yeah, righto then.
7189 to Hartley.
Go ahead, 7189.
Oh, it's me, Sarge. Is it legal to drive round with no windscreen?
Say again?
I've just seen this van, Sarge. It had no windscreen, no road tax, and the back number plate was falling off.
So what did you do?
Nothing. It drove off like before I could stop it.
Hard luck. Did you get the number?
The thing is, Sarge, I know him, the driver. He used to go to the same school as me.
Well, in that case, why don't you have a quiet word with him? Point out to him that his vehicle does appear to suffer from a number of defects, and if you see him out in it again in the same condition, you'll do him.
Right, Sarge.
Come in. I get the distinct impression you know something I don't.
When we were up at Tarnhill House yesterday, there was something bothering me. But it wasn't till I was shaving this morning that I clocked what it was.
You know, it's a complete fallacy that women spend most time in the bathroom. Tom's the same. What have you been doing in there, I say to him, and he says, thinking.
Not enough booze. I mean, he's supposed to be opening that place in 10 days, right? So, you go in the bar, and he's got optics up, but his shelves are damn near empty. I've just been up there checking his stocks against his invoices, and from what I can make out, there's less than half the booze there that he's paid for and had delivered.
So you reckon he's been turned over?
I reckon when he arrived yesterday morning, he found them bang at it, tried to stop them, and they ran him down.
Doesn't sound like the kind of stunt an escaped convict from London would try and pull. Does it to you, Sergeant?
Local, man. It's got to be.
I've never seen it before.
Excuse me, Mr. Greenwood.
Clear off, you! I don't need you! I can handle this one myself!
Mr. Greenwood!
Shut up! Shut up, you! Charlie, shut up! I'll have you, no problem. I'll not take that from you! You are, you're dead! You'll be dead if I get you. I'll get you.
7189 to Hartley. 7189 to Hartley. Come in, please.
7189, Hartley. What is it this time?
I'm out at Tarnhill Farm, Sarge. I think I need some backup.
What are you doing there?
You told me to, Sarge. To see the lad that owns that van. Only I think he's dead's trying to murder him or something. I mean, they know I'm here, but it sounds like someone's getting killed in there.
Bell in. Could I speak to either Mr. Winder or Mr. Fornell, please? Oh, are they? No, no message, thank you. Bye. They're not there. Apparently they've gone down to the hospital.
Bullying the nurses to let them see Palin, I'll bet.
Do you think I should ring them there?
Excuse me, Mum. We've just had a call from Bentley. I can't really make out what's going on, but I think he needs assistance.
Where is he?
Tarnhill Farm, Mum. That's what I thought you ought to know.
What on earth is he doing there?
Bit of a long story, Mum.
Well, if he's taking on Greenwood, I'm not surprised he needs assistance.
Well, from the sound of it, it might be more serious than that.
How do you do it, Roland?
Eh? Sergeant Parrish told me to have a word with him.
The point is, he probably wouldn't have done if you told him who you were talking about. Anything new happened?
No. It's been dead quiet for quite a while now.
Where's your son, Mr. Greenwood?
Gone.
Gone where?
How should I know? I told him to clear off and not bother coming back.
There's been a constable out in the lane the last half hour, Mr. Greenwood. He hasn't seen anybody leave.
He wouldn't, would he? Not if somebody slipped out that way. You can give over chasing him. I've done your job for you. Took my belt off to him and give him the hiding he deserved.
Taking the law into your own hands again, eh, Mr. Greenwood?
I'm his father. Well, me taught him the difference between right and wrong, and if he's forgot, it's my job to remind him.
With your belt?
I don't care what you think about me. I'll not have a lad of mine thieving, no matter what. And I don't need you to tell me what to do about it.
How about telling us how it all started?
You tried to bring him up right. I never spared him. Life's not spared me much. You just put your head down and get on with it. You don't owe, you don't beg, you don't steal. You make best of what is. Work. You don't go bloody thieving. I've just told you.
You've told us he's been thieving, but not what?
I'm not simple. If you didn't know, you wouldn't be here.
The constable only came to talk to your lad about his van, Mr. Greenwood, and we're only here because he reported hearing blue murder. Now, do you think you could be a bit more specific, please, and tell us exactly what's been going on?
Sorry, ma'am, excuse me. But I thought you ought to see these. I found them in the back of Ronnie's van. There's another and all full of vodka.
Well, Mr. Greenwood.
Any more, are there?
If all this came from where I think your son nearly killed someone yesterday, Mr. Greenwood.
Aye.
But don't you think that's a bit worse than thieving?
Not when it's a fella like Palin.
Well, you may have belted your Ronnie for thieving, Mr. Greenwood, but when we catch him, he's likely to be charged with a good deal more than that, including assault causing grievous bodily harm. And while we're at it, I've half a mind to charge you with obstructing the police and withholding evidence.
I wouldn't put it past you.
Sergeant Beck to Hartley.
We'll catch him, no problem. According to his father, the lad's story is Palin fired at him and smashed the windscreen. The lad lost control of the van and knocked Palin over by accident. Could have happened that way, I suppose. Which reminds me, I must talk to Mr. Palin about his firearm. But in the meantime, I think you can take it he's safe enough where he is, if you're still worried that Wright might be headed this way.
Wouldn't discount the possibility.
As of this morning, I think there have been unconfirmed sightings in Hull, Carlisle, Bristol, Maidenhead and London, of course. You'll be able to write a book soon about all your travels.
Bet there'll be a good chapter on Manchester.
Grateful for the cooperation and hospitality, ma'am. Hope we'll see you in London sometime, so we can reciprocate.
Don't like London, Inspector. Dirty, crowded, bad-mannered place.
Inspector.
Ma'am.
Gentlemen. Sergeant Beck.
Ma'am.
I wonder what the newspapers would make of it if a policeman was ever charged with wasting police time.
Reckon they'd enjoy that, ma'am.
Please don't feel you ever have to do that again. But thanks all the same.
Can't do nothing right, can we?